What's up, guys? Welcome back, first of all. Thank you for coming back. I want to expand again on the tutorial from the previous video about moving in the collision. Whoops, wrong one. Not that. Game Maker. Let's open Game Maker. Okay. So, what we have right now is we can move left, right, up, down, diagonal. We can't get out of the box that we're stuck in. So we're just moving through space, bumping into whatever we can bump into. If we want to put walls inside the room, we can do that. We'll run into those. But that's nothing special. What I would like to do is if we take this room and on the floor we take walls and we put those walls to where they look like ground. What I would like to do is walk on this ground and jump and land on top and explore places. I want to move around and feel like I'm doing something. So what we're going to do is we're going to limit our movement even more, and we're going to start working on a platformer. So there's some things we need to think about before we start doing this. First of all, we need to be able to have some gravity that pulls us towards the ground. So if I'm in the air up here, I want the game, let's take this grid off. I want the game to pull me down to here. I want it to pull me down to the ground and make me stay there, unless I press a jump button and have the button move me in the air. So first of all, we need gravity. Second of all, we need to make it to where instead of the up button making us just go up, make it to where it moves us, and then the game will pull us back down with the automatic gravity. And that's really all we gotta. We just have to change very little movement principles from what we have already to do this. But we do need a couple more variables in the create event. So what we're going to do is we're going to have JSP, which is going to represent our jump speed. Relative to the move speed of 4, a good jump speed would be like somewhere between like 6 and 8. So let's just make a 6, see how it looks. We can always come back and change it, really easy. Now we're going to need a gravity variable, but don't use gravity because that's a built-in variable in Game Maker. It's got its own properties and principles, and I don't want to mess with it because I don't know exactly how it works. I want to use a variable that I know how it works, what I'm using it for. So instead I'll just make it grav or grv or whatever makes sense to you. Do something. Just don't call it gravity. Unless you just want to be rebellious and do gravity. Okay, so grav equals, you don't need a very big number because it keeps adding upon itself. And I'll explain that once we get into the step event. Let's just do a small number like 0.4 or something. And again, you can change it really easily and make it flow the way you want it to flow. So now over here in the step event, we need to change a couple things. First of all, we don't need the down key anymore because gravity is going to be pulling us down. We don't have to control the down movement. And instead of calling this, we'll leave this function the same, but instead of key up, we'll just say key jump, just for intuitive principles. We also don't need this vert variable, and we don't need this VSP variable. Well, we need VSP, we don't need this formula. But we're going to leave the left and right movement the same because it functions and it works the same way. We do need to set a limit, however, on how far we can drop because we don't want to move at like 50, 60, 70 pixels per second or per frame. So we'll limit it. We'll just say if VSP is less than 10, because if you're positive, you're going down. If your y variable is positive, you're going down. If it's negative, you're going up. So if you're less than 10, the v speed is less than 10, then VSP plus equals grav. So every step, grav is going to be added to VSP. So it's going to be 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6. It's going to keep adding onto it and get faster and faster. Now we have to control when we jump. So, and we only want to jump if we're on the ground. We don't want to be able to just jump. So if we're going to use that place meeting again, place meeting, and let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. Okay, so if place meeting x y plus 1, so 1 pixel below us, if place meeting x y plus 1 obj wall v speed equals key jump, and because key jump is the negative keyboard check, if it's true it'll return -1. So key jump times JSP, and we set JSP to be 6, remember? So we got VSP is going to equal -1 times 6. So we're going to be going upwards because it's going to be a negative number. So down here, when we make y plus equal VSP, if it's negative, then we're going to go up. And then, since we're not on the ground, we can't jump anymore. It's not going to add or subtract from VSP anymore using this. It's going to start using this, because our VSP will be less than 10. And the gravity will just keep adding on and adding on. So let's use our check mark. I'll go ahead and zoom out. Okay, save it, run. Now let's see. Oh, boom. So it's a little bit slow, and so maybe we can increase the gravity and maybe give it a little bit of a more jump too. But look, we fit right nicely. Like, we hit the ceilings nicely. We don't get stuck. We can hit the corners. We can go underneath things. And we still collide with the walls the same, going left and right. So let's do that. Let's increase our. Instead of increasing the speed or the rate at which we fall, I want to go over this as well. So if we go into our room and go to settings, we can change the speed of the room. Right now we're at 30 steps per second, or frames per second. Let's try it at 60 and see how it looks. Just maybe it'll make it a little bit smoother. So we'll save it, run it, and we'll see how nice it looks. Oh, we move much faster now. Everything's got a little bit more of a flow to it. I kind of like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and because I have VK check on it, I can just hold up, and every time I hit the ground I'll jump. I'll show you how to fix that. If you don't want your people to be able to do that, all you have to do is go into your step event. Instead of keyboard check, you go keyboard check pressed. So it only checks during the frame that up is pressed, not the whole time it's being pressed. So if you're holding up, it's only going to account for the first frame that you press it. So that's how you prevent that, and we'll go ahead and make it to where you can jump a little bit higher. So we'll just say 8. And then we'll reduce our move speed just a little bit. We'll just say 3, just because we were moving really fast. Save it, play. Alright, that seems really nice, really smooth. That's That looks good. Ooh, that's a good jump height too. I can jump over 2 blocks. And what we can go over next is maybe next time we will make it to where if you just tap jump really quickly, that you don't jump very high at all, and if you hold it, you jump higher. Also, I want to go over eventually friction with you guys, to where like maybe your player accelerate instead of moving at the set speed, you can accelerate. So you start out really slow and go faster, 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 and then when you let go, you just kind of slide to a stop. We can go over that. That way you can maybe develop an ice level or something slippery. So those are a couple of things that we might be going over in the future. But yeah, I want to go over all sorts of stuff. I want to cover all the ideas, everything that I've encountered in a video game. And maybe we won't even stop at platformers. Maybe we'll move on to RPGs or grid-based games. There are all sorts of stuff that we can do, and we can explore it together. So, thanks for watching, guys. Also the jumping and the gravity was also inspired and by Sean Spalding. His basic tutorial videos are so good for building blocks, building off of those. He does a great job covering the basics, and I would like to see if he does any more advanced things in the future. You guys might want to keep up with him as well, but I'm definitely want to keep producing videos, and you guys will see him here on YouTube. So thanks, guys, and I will see you later.